Hey guys, Ashley here with another reading of Night's Dreams of Reality. Yes, guys, Chapter 7 is out. And boy, was the last one a cliffhanger that kind of went on for a little while. But Danny basically had managed to give us another chapter, and I'm going to be reading it. So, in a 1, 2, 3, let's go. Let's read. So, where exactly are we going now? I know some of the characters I'm probably gonna have to well, I don't have a trouble with Starlight and Owl since I definitely remember how they sound like. But Will and Elliot, yes, they are in this chapter. I basically read this. I'm gonna have to be I'm gonna have to at least try to remember how they sounded or how I made them sound. Starlight asks as the two made their way towards the door. They already had eaten breakfast and situated the house before leaving. Starlight had already seen all of this Nightopia in a couple of days. Wow! Owl thought showing her the next destination as a surprise would do. He knew the area better than any visitor. He was around to see its creation after all. They arrived shortly at the door. Here, child. Through this door is where we are heading. Starlight tilted her head in confusion. A door? She had seen doors before, but this one seemed different from the rest. So, what is so significant about this door, Owl? Starlight asked. This is no ordinary door, Starlight. Consider it like a gateway to a new world. A whole new world! I'll be waiting for you on the other side. With that said, Owl disappeared. Owl, use teleport! The Marin slowly walked up the steps and placed her hand upon the handle, pulling the door open. Starlight slowly walked into the violet light, closing her eyes, letting the light consume her. When she opened them, she found herself in a very different location. She found herself in front of an old gateway. Two statues stood proudly on each other's side as she walked in, seeing the lush green trees, the cobblestone walkway, and the grand fountain in the center of the whole plaza. It was all breathtaking to her. Welcome to the Dream Gate, child. Starlight sees Owl fly towards her. This place is amazing, Owl. It's so peaceful and elegant and safe. The Dream Gate is a place nightmares rarely attack. Okay, I highly agree with that. I mean, sure, we don't see any other nightmares, but during tutorial session, you basically fly around the gate and you actually see some nightmares. Oops. Oh, and let's not forget that Riala shows up pretty early on in Helen's story to make the impression and ambush knights. Yeah, not exactly the best way to describe that, Owl. Even though visitors come through here frequently, when a visitor falls asleep, they come here and can choose any door that's open and arrive at their respective dream worlds. Last time I checked, didn't he say that it's not a good idea for visitors to wander into another's world, another dream world per se, when clearly it's not theirs? Seriously, I pretty much found it as a problem slightly. Yet here, it seems perfectly normal. I don't know, I don't really understand dream logic at the time. Owl says he perched himself on the side of the fountain. Starlight sat right next to him, taking in the night sky. I was hoping she would be here today. This is the place she would come to greet visitors and to make sure that there was no threats from Nightmare's army. Now it is a rare sight to even see her at all. Owl said, tilted his head down. He sighed and continued. I still hope that she will return one day. The last time I saw her, she wasn't herself. Starlight sort of knew what he was talking about. Are you talking about Knights again? She asked. Knights was someone important to many here in Nightopia. A defender, a fighter, a guardian. Hey, he's better than Knuckles, I'll give him that. I mean, seriously. You leave for 5 minutes, Knuckles, and the Master Emerald is gone. Derp-a-derp. Oh, and the fact that you get tricked on occasionally really doesn't help either. Or in your situation. And a trusted friend. She could tell many missed her presence. Of course, Knights is pretty much a beloved character. How can you not pretty much miss her? What do you mean she wasn't herself? Owl asked as if he hadn't heard her last question. The old bird disagreed. Anyway, the visitors should be arriving soon. Go ahead and take a look around. It's impossible to get lost. Everything leads back here. Starlight found this disappointing. Owl always avoids the questions. She stood up to face him. Owl, please be serious. Why isn't anyone talking to me about this? Why are you avoiding this? Hey Danny, feel free to leave a comment below on how you think I did Starlight. Does it sound exactly like her, how you voiced her? If so, then feel free to leave a comment. Owl didn't know how to respond as he took flight onto a nearby branch. She knew he wouldn't talk about any of this any further. So she decided to take a look around the Dream Gate instead. From the tranquil pond to the cliffside that oversaw the whole island, Starlight could even see some of the other floating islands nearby. Other than that, it was a completely blank space leading down to the dark ocean below. At least Starlight remembers to not go near the dark ocean. Ugh. Dang you, wise man! She sat on the ledge to think to herself. She surely was enjoying her time here, but things weren't right. The Nightmare Army had been silent for the past few days, and the odd behavior of the visitors at the mention of Knights. There was something wrong here in this light-hearted world. She had a feeling that there was a connection somewhere, but she couldn't put it together. There wasn't enough information to set things up, yet. But it also wasn't her business. She just hoped Owl and the others would open up to her when the timing was right. If there truly was another nightmare like her here, maybe she could help her learn more about herself and how to survive on her own when nightmare attacks. Starlight got up once she felt like she was done looking around. She then heard a sound come from behind her along with a small gush of wind. She turned around to find nothing there. She thought it was just the wind, but there was a small trail of light that disappeared behind her. If I basically recall, there's a certain nightmare who's been keeping an eye on her. I wouldn't. Anyways, Starlight found his eye but paid no mind to it as she headed back to the Dream Gate. There waiting for her was Owl and Elliot. Oh yeah, the voice acting for Elliot and Will. Okay, Will will come later, but Elliot, oh boy, here goes. Hey Star, what's up? Starlight smiled and answered, I'm doing fine, Elliot. Thank you. Elliot gave the man a thumbs up and started walking towards one of the doors. Where are you going, Elliot? Starlight asked, following him towards the door. Splash Garden. Thought I would go to shoot some hoops. Want to try it out? Maybe someone V1? Starlight didn't understand what he was saying. I'm with Starlight on this. What? I don't speak gangster, Elliot. Yo, 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 we gotta shoot some, b-ball. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Elliot could tell by her expression that she was lost. He smiled and said, It's a game called basketball. I could teach it to you. As long as it doesn't require flight, I guess I can give it a try. Oh, don't worry, Starlight. This has nothing to do with flying. So, lucky you. Elliot tilted his head, signaling the Marin towards the Splash Garden door. The two entered into a bright area surrounded by sand, water, green grass, mountain hillsides, and a light blue walkway. Above them were orbs of water floating in the air, matching the bright sky. You put sky under twice, Danny. Might want to fix that. Also, there were some spelling errors I kind of slightly noticed, but hey, you're getting better. So this is Splash Garden. How fitting. Starlight said while following Elliot to a square-like area with two hoops mounted to long poles. I assume this is where we're going to shoot hoops? Starlight asked while looking at the strange equipment. Elliot picked up two basketballs from the rack and brought them over to Star. You bet it is. You'll need this. Elliot hands the Marin one of the balls. My two balls! Have to bring the joke back, guys. I'll put a link in the description to, to show you that origin of that joke. Anyways, she took it into her hands and inspected it. It was rough. It had a rough surface with strange markings. So, what do we do with this? Take the ball and shoot the hoop. Shoot it in the hoop. Ugh. Gotta stop doing that. He said, pointing at the nearby hoop. Starlight didn't know what he meant by shooting. Elliot snickered at her reaction and elaborated. Could have just shown her how it's done, Elliot. You take the ball in your hands and throw it into the hoop. Every time you make it in, you get a point. But we won't start that till later. Just toss it. Starlight looked at the ball and up to the hoop. She then took a step forward and threw the ball as hard as she could, only for the ball to bounce off the rim and hit her square in blank in the face. Ow! Yeah, ow indeed. But I don't know why, but I'm gonna be honest here. That the way that is described, it reminds me of the well, it reminds me of the fan comic where Knife got hit in the head by the ball. A basketball. And let's just say that didn't go so well. So yeah, I'm not sure if Danny actually intended this, but that was good, Danny. She thrilled as she fell back. Elliot watched her land on the ground as the ball bounced away from her. He refrained from laughing as he bent down to see if the Marin was okay. You feeling okay, Star? Did I fail? In a way, yes. Elliot held out his hand and helped her up. She brushed the dust off of her and rubbed her aching forehead. Elliot gave her a supportive smile as he got the other ball. Don't worry. I've seen girls older than you miss worse than that. They don't even reach the rim. My bad for not warning you about the ball coming back to bite you. It happens to the best of us. I bet that in the middle of a game, and that was embarrassing since I was team captain that year. Is that when you actually had a problem facing Roger? If so, then I guess it could be what you're referencing. Starlight took the ball back again and tried to think of another way to do this. Elliot then taught her the proper form and stance to shoot. Oh, now you basically show her. Seriously, why didn't you just show her instead of her getting hit? Seriously, Elliot? Not the best impression. At least with Will, I can pretty much understand that he wouldn't go like that. Wait, are we gonna get a dream sequence where we're gonna get, um, Starlet actually learning to play soccer, or as London would call it, football? Actually, that makes a little more sense because you're actually kicking. Yet in our actual football game, we're not really using as using our feet most of the time. It's just tossing. Why not just call it toss ball? That makes a lot more sense. Anyways, he lost track of how many tries it took her to make one basket, but he was happy to see her face when she made one. Oh my nightmare! Danny, did you seriously just use one of my phrases? I mean, seriously. You made a reference to my character, Nightmare. Oh man, that was actually pretty good, Danny. That was good. Anyways, the Baron growled. It took me that long to make one shot? She threw herself onto the ground, frustrated yet victorious. Elliot felt bad for her. He smiled and sat right next to her. Congratulations! You made your first basket. I don't think I like this game. Yeah, isn't for everyone. Yet it is the most popular game you find nowadays. But we can stop here. I can see you're over this. Starlight groaned in response. Elliot helped her back up and decided to take her over to the cove. You can swim, right? Of course I can, Elliot. Okay, I called Will. Wait, do cell phones actually work in Nightopia? Oh, who am I kidding? It's a dream world, and pretty much in Helen's opening, we do in fact see that she is capable of using her phone. Hope you better not call Sans, otherwise it's gonna be an endless supply of puns, and Papyrus going, Sans! Stop bothering the humans! You're supposed to be doing your job, you lazy bones! Yeah, what? Yeah, you say so, bro. Sorry. He said, anyways, he said he'll be here in a few minutes. Trust me, you'll like the cove, especially underwater. Starlight sat by the ledge of the rocks and splashed her feet in the water. It was warmer than the water she had to swim back in Nightmare. I guess it was really cold there. Well, then again, it is Nightmare, I guess it makes sense. And had a calming tone of blue. Elliot was waiting for Will to arrive as he sat up on an umbrella and picnic area in case Helen or Clarice decide to show up. We don't really see them in this chapter. That's all I'm gonna say, guys. Will arrived a few minutes later. Hey, Elle, what's up? Oh, wait. Hey, Elle, what's up? Wait. Doing fine. Just to teach Star how to play some b-ball. Oh, Wednesday, ball and race. With the playground where I spend most of my days. A couple of guys. They weren't the. You know what? You know the song. Or if you basically know the Fresh Prince reference, you get what I'm trying to say. In fact, I actually made this joke a while back when I did another nice comic. But she gave up after the 80th shot. Or something. I thought you would enjoy a dive in the cove after the mess. How nice of you, Elliot. He said sarcastically as he placed his duffel bag down. Starlight turned around to see the blonde visitor. She waved at him with a big smile. This line here. Hey, Will! Over here! That sounds exactly how NiGHTS says it. Oh, boy. Making the reference, Danny. And you're making me want to see NiGHTS again. Ay. Will noticed as he smiled and waved back at the smiling Marin. She seems happier than what you described after your little practice. Elliot stuck out his tongue as a tease and said, I try to teach her, but hey, she tried until she made one shot. That's impressive. I know. I've seen guys quit faster than she did. After the little conversation, they head over to where Star was sitting. Can we swim now? She eagerly asked as she got up to face the two. Sure. Sure. Elliot said as he took his shoes off. Him swimming here reminded him when he was younger going through here. What, when you first visited? Okay. And an opera singing bunny. Let's not forget about that, too. Starlight and Will jumped in, splashing Elliot in the process. Hey! Sorry, the two said in unison with a big smile plastered on their faces. Will dived down to the reef, but Starlight stayed above with Elliot. Starlight wondered if she could use one of her spells to transform into something. Wait. In Nights into Dreams, Nights is capable of transforming, and he actually transformed into a mermaid by just simply going into the water. Yet in Journey of Dreams, it requires a persona mask in order to turn into a dolphin. Into something that would apply to this activity. She snapped her fingers and dived into the water, letting the transformation take place. Will came back up for air, not noticing the Marin's change in appearance. Okay, seriously? You're in a dream. It wouldn't make sense for you to, not rely on the laws of reality. You're basically free to do whatever you want in a dream. Because, dreams don't really have that type of rules. Come on, Elliot. What's the holdup? Just thinking about the old times. When NiGHTS was here. Will remember those times too. He missed them just as much as Elliot did. Yeah. The two stayed silent until they heard someone call them. Hey guys, check this out! Starlight jumped out of the water, revealing a long, glimmering tail instead of legs. She swam closer to the two visitors so they could get a closer look at her golden scales. Whoa! How did you do that? Elliot asked as the two stared in awe at Starlight. It's a transformation spell. This is one of the few I learned how to master and stay in the longest. I think this one is the mermaid spell. Isn't it pretty? The Marin asked it as she showed off her new tail. They were impressed. But Elliot wondered, if she could transform into that, could she dualize? Oh! That's an awkward statement. Because if you want to know, dualizing means that, well, of course they do fuse, but that means that Nightmare becomes that exact gender. Now why do I want to see a male version of Starlight? Danny, if you want, feel free to leave a comment below if you really would like to see something like that. You know, just a thought. Hey, Star. The blue-haired visitor asked, catching the Marin's attention. Do you know how to dualize? Starlight nodded no. Uh, don't you mean shook her head? Who the heck nods the answer? Unless it's like agreeing with something. She never heard of that term before. Never heard of that. What spell is that? What spell is that? It's not really a spell. It's more like a. I think it's better if I demonstrate it. Elliot holds out his hand towards the curious Marin. She stared at his hand, waiting for something to happen. I don't see anything happening, Starlight said as she looked back up towards the visitor. Will couldn't help but laugh at her response. You need to reach your hand out as well, in order for it to work. When our hands touch, our bodies should merge into one. We should be sharing the same body in particular. Starlight didn't know if she should be scared or intrigued. She looked down at her hand before she slowly reached out for Elliot's hand. When their hands made contact, a small light emitted from it, and Elliot disappeared. Elliot? Starlight asked, looking around for the visitor. I'm right here, Star. She heard a voice next to her ear. When she turned, she saw Elliot right next to her. He smiled and gave her a thumbs up, making her arm completely the same motion. She was amazed at this. Whoa, this is amazing, Elliot. Told you. The blue-haired boy said as the two dived down to the reef. Wow, leave me behind, huh? Why do I mention? Oh yeah, Will is jealous. Oh man, how come he gets? Oh man, how come he gets to dualize but I can't? Or something like that. Will said as he took a deep breath and dived down after them. The two dove through the colorful reef, seeing all the tropical fish. That's a lot of fish. Starlight was amazed at the marvelous colors and wildlife. Elliot occasionally had to pull her back the other way before they lose Will. The three went back to the moment Will had lost a lot of energy. There better be rings around. That'll help. Unless this is like a Mario thing he's doing. Because in Mario Galaxy, there's a water level. Actually, there are a lot of water levels in Mario where you gotta swim. But they added an air meter. I don't know. That's what that reminds me of, is what I'm trying to say, guys. Elliot and Starlight were fine, though. That was amazing, Elliot. All the pretty fish and the reef. So breathtaking. The Marins said as they separated from each other. I thought you would like it here, Star, he said with a smile. Yeah, you were going left to right like crazy, Will said, shaking the water out of his hair. Elliot got out of the water and dried himself off. I'm glad you like it here, Star. Can I go back down there? Elliot smiled at her and let her go as long as she stayed nearby where they can keep an eye on her. She smiled as she backflipped into the water, making a big splash. Will rolled his eyes while smiling at her. Yeah, just leave me out of the just leave me out of the fun. Elliot laughed at his response as Starlight resurfaced. Come on, Blondie. I'm sorry. She grabbed his hand as they went down to the reef. Elliot sat on the side watching the two surface every now and again. How he missed the old times when NiGHTS was there. Was here. Ugh. But there was something to Starlight Elliot just couldn't understand. She could perform just like a normal Marin, but she couldn't fly. He brushed it to the side as the two came back after their swim. They gathered underneath the umbrella and just had a good time. At least it wasn't a bad time. As the day went on, they never noticed a pair of eyes watching them from the shadows. It didn't have any intention on harming, but it followed them all the way back to the Dream Gate. Today was a The day was a great day, too. Thank you so much. No problem, Star. You're a good kid. Elliot said, patting her back. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow, Starlight. Will said as the two walked out of the Dream Gate. Starlight waved them goodbye before she turned around. Sorry, pretty much on. She heard that same sound from earlier. She looked around to find nothing, not even a trail of light. When she turned around, she sees a slender figure standing upon the top of a fountain. She wore a white long sleeved shirt with purple and yellow cuffs. Her twin tail hat and scarf matched the color of her purple tights. Her skin was pale with a pair of piercing blue eyes staring straight into her. They were just so familiar to the young man. Starlight slowly made her way towards the strange Marin above her. Hello? I'm surprised Owl wasn't around. Where was he the whole time? Ugh. My guess is that he was just waiting at home or something. Oh boy. The other Marin didn't respond, just stared at her. Starlight felt uneasy in her presence, yet mesmerized at her presence. Right? Uneasy, yet memorized at her presence. Danny, try to shorten that. It'd be easier. As she got closer, the other Marin flinched and flew off. Hey, wait! Starlight ran after her, trying to wave her down. Starlight thought she could catch up to her at the top of the pavilion, but the purple Marin disappeared into the night sky. Dark skies. Ugh. Starlight stopped the moment she knew it was pointless to pursue her any further. Who was that? Starlight thought to herself as she slowly backed away from the ledge on the pavilion. She had seen her before, but when and where did? She sighed and turned back to the door of Memory Forest, with caution in case the Marin came back seeking a fight. And that's the end of chapter 7, guys. It was nice to see Elliot and Will in this, because, well, honestly, makes you wonder exactly what's going to go on next. And it was nice to see that she was hanging out with the guys and taking a little break. But Purple Nightmare, does that sound familiar, guys? But anyways, again, guys, support this series and support Danny as well. She is awesome, and I hope you guys enjoy this. I will pretty much see you all later. Bye!